Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. Hope everybody's doing safe. Um, COVID-19 is definitely not a joke. Um, so I just want to let you guys know that I'm thinking about you. I've read your comments. I've responded to a few. Um, and I just want to let you guys know that, I hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you guys are safe. Um, so with COVID-19 going on, many people with unstable living situations have had to move back in with people who are not that healthy psychologically. They don't have enough insight into their own psychological problems, so they don't get help. They're not even interested in anything related to getting healthier or getting help. Um, so I am really, really thinking about you guys, because these times can lead to a lot of regression in our mental health because of having to go back to environments that are not best for us. So this video is really going to be about setting boundaries and what makes up boundaries. So, if you really, 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 really want a great source of information surrounding the science behind getting better boundaries, improving our boundaries, I highly suggest you watch Richard Gradden's video. I think it was posted sometime in May about getting stronger boundaries. Anyway, I'm going to put my own video out here on boundaries, getting stronger boundaries, because there's a lot of things from that video by Richard Gradden that I really learned and picked up on that I really want to share with you guys. And it's very useful as far as getting away from certain situations that are not healthy for us. As I'm speaking, just talking about setting boundaries with rather unhealthy people is very anxiety-provoking. So, with that said, boundaries. All right. As a kid, if you had narcissistic parents, or one narcissistic parent, one codependent parent, or a parent that doesn't have self-love, the child of those parents that grows up to just continually attract narcissists into their life, they don't learn healthy boundaries. But there's two layers to boundaries that I didn't even know about. So on one hand, you have external boundaries. On the other hand, you have internal boundaries. External deals with boundaries we set with the outside world. Internal boundaries are boundaries we set with ourselves. It's how you say no to ourselves, which is extremely important because it goes hand in hand with our ability to set boundaries with other people. So, if you had narcissistic parents growing up, you have numerous holes through your boundaries, both externally and internally. So, internally, you accept situations and people, relationships, where it's not very mutual, or it's just flat out abusive. Externally, you can't say no to the people violating the boundaries, or to people who just aren't capable of reciprocating the love, respect, and care that you provide, right? They're just not capable of that. And in some cases, if you address these things with them, they gaslight you. So, growing up, if you had narcissistic parents, you had poor external boundaries, poor internal boundaries. You were made to do things that were, you were made to do things you didn't want to do. And because you were made to do things you didn't want to do, that destroyed any possibility for you learning as a kid how to set boundaries with the outside world. Also, if you were made to pretend as if you wanted to do the things that your narcissistic parent wanted you to do, that destroys your internal boundaries. So you don't develop a healthy superego. Richard Grandin gets into that deeply. That's why I highly suggest watching his video on setting healthy boundaries. But anyway, your internal boundaries are destroyed. Your external boundaries are destroyed. You don't have a healthy superego. You have an inner critical voice because, let's face it, if you're not the pleasing child growing up, or in fleeting moments you're the pleasing child, and if you don't do what the narcissist wants you to do, you face a lot of criticism and flack. So it leads to a really critical inner voice. And this is what I struggle with personally. And this is why I've had to take some steps back away from making Instagram posts, YouTube videos, and I really had to really take a good look at myself and some of the shame, the core shame that I had. And I'm definitely not where I want to be, but at least I see more of a path towards attracting better individuals in my life, but also having stronger boundaries, which is really what you really need to be focusing on first before you can have healthier boundaries. So decision making, if you didn't have strong boundaries, is very, very difficult. So, if your external boundaries are destroyed and you have a narcissist in your life, narcissist, as you know, will not allow you to make a decision on your own without them having a say. So with that said, you have no opportunity to get out unless you set firm boundaries, externally and internally. Today I'm making the decision to leave home for a few days. With the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm definitely going to be wearing a mask. Have a friend that's going to pick me up and take me to his place. And I'm going to spend a couple nights at his place. And we're going to actually go to the NASCAR All-Star race tomorrow night. We're going to try to get there early to try to beat the crowd. And upon letting my mom know about this, which I let her know in advance, the reaction was not very good. I was made to feel immense shame. My anxiety was through the roof. Right now, as I'm speaking, it is through the roof. So there's no capacity to make your own decisions around these types of individuals. When my dad was in my life, I didn't have that capacity to make my own decisions. I had to do what he wanted me to do, and I had to pretend like he wanted me to do. He had to pretend like I wanted to go along with it when I didn't. So again, that double break as far as boundaries. takes place, right? So if you want to start having healthier boundaries, you have to work on the inner critical voice, right? And replace it with the healthier voice. You have to take a look at your external boundaries, the boundaries you set with others, and your internal boundaries, the boundaries you set with yourself, and stop accepting situations that are not good for you, and make some decisions on your own about what you will and will not tolerate in your life. And a good example of this could literally mean if there's someone in your life who you're friends with, but they're not reciprocating the efforts that you're putting in, and it's a chronic pattern that takes place over time, you have to make the decision to cut them out of your life if you want healthier relationships. You're going to have to set that boundary and work on yourself and work on the boundaries you set with other people. So it could look like that. For me, I feel like I was not able to make, for a big portion of my life, was not able to make decisions on my own without some kind of approval of my mom, or during the time I had contact with my dad. So it's time for me to make my own decision. I have to get out, but I have to get out wisely within the guidelines of the CDC. Make sure I wear my mask when I'm going to any event, sporting event, racing event. Most sporting events don't have fans right now, but NASCAR is one of those few sports that are testing the waters. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the race, but I do know that it's going to be really important to wear that mask and keep that distance. If I can get through the next couple days safe, next couple weeks safe, without any infection, without any threat to my safety, I think this is going to be really good for my mental health moving forward. And it's also going to keep that reminder that a healthier life is out there. Beyond the environment that you're currently in during the pandemic, there's a healthier environment that you can create for yourself. And if you surround yourself with some people who are healthy, you can more than definitely create a healthier life for yourself. But it's going to require psychotherapy. And now that I'm graduating college, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to be looking for psychotherapy, doing a lot of trauma work. A lot like last year. Last year I did a lot of trauma work as well. But now that I'm out of college, I'm going to have to do trauma work outside of the college. And I'm going to have to pay up. But at the same time, I have to get healthier because I am approaching 22 years old next month. And I don't want to end up being 30 and still be accepting situations that are not good for me, or let people who only seek control and domination to ease their own insecurities. I don't want to let them make decisions for me. I don't want to have a long legacy of poor relationships. If you look at my last video, I got myself in a bad situation. Somebody else's fault, really, if you think about it. I had poor external boundaries. I said yes to someone I shouldn't ever have had a conversation with. And internally, deep down, I knew it was a bad decision. And I didn't say no to myself. So I went along with it. And it ended pretty badly, but quickly. I caught on to what was going on and got out. But still, it was damage, right? If you look at my last video. So, it's important to strengthen those external boundaries, strengthen those internal boundaries. Um, if you can do some of those things well, you might look like a whole different person to the outside world, and so be it. If it means you're healthier, it's great. Thank you guys.